Okay. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. We are going to discuss that ruminal acidosis, urea toxicity, protected nutrients, and enzymes. So this is the first slide in which I am showing that the how to approach this lecture. Again, for refreshing are those students who are absent in this class, they may have to follow my lectures on my YouTube and as well as from the Microsoft team. Acidosis is a pathological condition associated with the accumulation of acid or depletion of alkaline reserves in blood and body tissues, and characterized by increased hydrogen ion concentrations. Ruminal acidosis refers to a series of conditions that reflects to decrease in pH in the rumen of a cattle, rumen lactic acidosis, grain overload, grain poisoning, acute indigestion develops in sheep and cattle that have ingested a large amount of unaccustomed feed rich in ruminally fermentable carbohydrates that may have to lead towards the acidosis. The resulting production of large quantities of volatile fatty acids and lactic acid decreases the rumen pH to a non-physiological levels and simultaneously weakening the buffering capacity of the rumen and reduces the efficiency of a rumen flora, and fermentation. Lactic acidosis can cause ruminitis, metabolic acidosis, laminase, hepatic abscessation, pneumonia, and death. So acidosis can be divided into two categories. One is the clinical category and other is the subclinical category. So the high level of acids in the body cause the body to compensate and try to remove the acid. The lungs and the kidneys are usually able to get rid of excess acid in the body. If acidosis puts too much pressure on these organs, it can cause serious complications. So the lactic acidosis is a form of a metabolic acidosis that begins when a person overproduces or underutilizes lactic acid and their body is not able to adjust these changes. So people with a lactic acidosis have problems with their liver and sometimes their kidneys being able to remove excess acid from their body. Respiratory acidosis. The respiratory acidosis happens when the body is unable to remove enough carbon dioxide, when which then build up in the body, increases acid levels in the blood. Causes of a respiratory acidosis include stroke, drugs that affect the central nervous system such as opioids, disorders that affect the muscles involved in breathing, such as the muscular dystrophy or the Guillain-Barré syndrome, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is known commonly as a COPD. The symptoms of a respiratory acidosis is that the symptoms of a respiratory acidosis can vary depending on the underlying cause, but may include wheezing, difficulty breathing, anxiety, disturbed sleep, a blue tinge to the skin due to a low level of oxygen in the blood. The renal tubular acidosis. The kidney disease or a kidney failure can cause a metabolic acidosis. In these cases, the doctors often refers to the condition as a renal tubular acidosis. The role of the kidney includes the removal of excess acid which passes out of the body through urine. If there is a problem with the kidneys, these organs are unable to remove acid effectively from body. So the common causes of a of a rumen acidosis are overfeeding, means large quantity of high fermentable carbohydrate feed, lack of a water utilization, defective mastication or insalivation may lead towards rumen acidosis. Paresis of a rumen means vagal indigestion, ingestion of a moldy or a decomposed feed, ingestive polyethylene bags, ropes, or other plastic materials, or gastrointestinal tract nematodes may cause the rumen acidosis. The causes, there are many possible causes of high levels of acid in the body. Metabolic acidosis happens when too much acid builds up in the body due to disruption to the metabolism. Several different health conditions can cause this to happen, including diabetes, Sjogren's syndrome, severe diarrhea, biliary fistula, insulin resistance. The grain overload or lactic acidosis may be due to a grain overload is an acute disease of a ruminant characterized by rumen hypomotility to atony, dehydration, acidemia, diarrhea, depression, incoordination, collapse, and death may occur. So very common in ruminants that the grain overload or lactic acidosis may cause the death in the ruminants. So feeding of a carbohydrate grains and a change in a microflora, accidentally or a faulty feeding of a high starch carbohydrates, or a fermentation in a rumen by a Streptococcus bovis gram positive bacteria, fall in the ruminal pH, or fall in the pH may causes the increase in the lactobacillus, and the fall in the pH may lead towards due to an increase of a lactobacillus in the rumen. Depletion of a normal microflora of a rumen, that may have to lead that whenever the normal microflora is not present or decline in a number, it may have to lead towards the acidosis. Hemoconcentration, the lactic acid may increase osmotic pressure of a rumen contents. The fluid drawn from a blood to a rumen causes a hemoconcentration leading to anuria, dehydration, circulatory collapse. Granular filtration rate may have to decrease, and anuria or oligouria may have to develop. That may cause a uremia, urine in a blood. So it may have to increase the urine in the blood. That may have to lead the hemoconcentration. So the complications that may have to arise, that is the lactobacillus or streptococci thrives, the salivary secretion ceases, and absorption of the lactate in the blood may have to cause the metabolic acidosis, and histamine production may have to lead towards a toxicity. Atonic rumen development of a fusiformis necroporus, and the fungi like mycorrhizae causing a rumenitis or ulcers in the rumen. So the laminitis may have to be produced due to a rumen acidosis. Like a cardiovascular failure may have to arise even in the rumen acidosis and reduce the blood pressure. Renal failure, loss of osmotic gradients or muscle weakness clinically. On auscultation, extreme gurgling sounds may have to develop, and stomach pain. Animal licks its stomach, and the respiratory rate may have to increase up to 60 to 90 per minute. The macroscopic alteration in the viscera may be seen that the ruminal and reticular contains porridge-like structure or cornified epithelium, soft and peels of a exposure of a hemorrhages may have to develop in the rumen. So blood may have to cause a dark, thick, and even the lungs, bleeding of a alveoli and a bronchi may have to lead. Our heart musculature might be the flabby, and the demyelination of the nervous system may have to develop, and hepatic abscess are also being seen as a microscopically. These changes in the visceral organs can be seen macroscopically by the Riemann acidosis. So you can see that the conified epithelium that may have to peel the soft and peels off the exposing hemorrhages, whereas the demyelinations of a nervous system may have to cause the to put up the animals laterally, and even the reminal or reticular contents may have a porridge-like structures, and the heart musculature may be flappy. So this is the macroscopic changes may have to be seen in the Riemann acidosis condition. So laminitis causes and a sequence of events histamine theory, the nutrition, excessive reminal fermentation of carbohydrates, finally chopped forages are a la grain feeding, that may have to cause the production of lactic acid, and that may have to decrease the pH in the Riemann, and death of the gram-negative bacteria has to develop, which may have to cause the endotoxin release, and that endotoxin release has to release the histamine, and that may have to be developed. The release of the histamine may be due to an infectious disease like a metritis, like a foot rot disease or a mastitis, or even environmental stress may have to release the histamine in the Riemann. That might be due to a stress or the trauma or the concussion. So this histamine, which may have to release due to a death of the gram-negative bacteria or endotoxin, that has to cause a vasoconstriction or a vasodilation. So that has to lead towards the lamina destruction, and when the lamina is being destructed, that the hoof deterioration has to be appear, and that has to lead towards the laminitis in the horses. So you can see the microscopic lesions, the necrotizing and a suppurative pneumonitis in a Hereford cough as a result of a lactic acidosis. The conclusion is that the lactic acidosis may have to lead to a Riemann fermentation, fermentable carbohydrate, or that has the starch, which is the bovia, that has to lactate in the 10 raise X stronger than the volatile fatty acid, which may have to decrease the pH in the Riemann. And the Riemann motility, Riemann osmolarity, and the proliferation may have to increase. The osmolarity and the proliferation of the coliform or collateroidea is increasing, and motility is decreasing. Due to a decrease of the motility, the Riemann strata or the absorption of the organic or a billet flow or a peripheral vascular rupture may have to be developed, and that may have to lead towards the laminitis. So the hemoconcentration is, if the osmolarity is increasing, that will cause the homeoconcentration that has the blood bicarbonate, blood calcium, the blood lactate, the blood dehydration will increase, the diarrhea will increase, whereas the blood bicarbonate has to decrease. The this has to cause the renal or a cardiac failure. So due to a renal or a cardiac failure, you may have to observe the death in the animals, whereas the proliferation of the coniform may have to increase, and that has to cause the pneumonitis or a hyperkarosia. So this increase in the pneumonitis or a hyperkarosia may have to lead towards a pathogen flow to a liver, and when the pathogen flow in the liver may have to increase, that has to cause the liver abscess, and due to a liver abscess, again the death may be observed in the ruminant. So this is the physiological events that links the acidosis with the laminitis as well as the death. So this is the lactic acid may have to cause death due to a renal failure or a cardiac failure or even a liver abscess, whereas the journal may have to cause in the horses, that may have to cause only the laminitis. Due to a laminitis, the animal especially the horses are unable to move and therefore they are declining in the performance. So clinical signs in the cattle with the mild clinical acidosis exhibit anorexia, means loss of appetite, and decreased milk production and scoring. Whereas the severe form of the disease may progress to include the metabolic acidosis, depression, dehydration, toxemia, and donor cow syndromes may have to develop, whereas the peracute acidosis may result in the recumbency, coma, and death in the 8 to 10 hours. So clinical signs in the acute form develop within the 8 hours and proceeds the onset of a metabolic clinical acidosis that peaks in the 36 hours. So clinical acidosis generally affects one or more cattle in the herd and is often precipitated by the sudden dietary changes. The diagnostic test, which can be performed for the diagnosis of the ruminal acidosis, the samples shows a pH of the 5.5 detected by the ruminocentosis used as the cut point for the detecting the disorder. So we can use this kit for the diagnosis of the ruminal acidosis. So urea toxicity are a poison that may have to poison by this may have the poison of the poisoning by the ingestion of excess urea that has to cause the other sources of non-protein nitrogenous is usually acute and rapidly progressive and highly fatal. That after ingestion, the source of a non-protein nitrogenous undergoes a hydrolysis and releases the excess ammonia into the gastrointestinal tract, which is absorbed and leads to a hyperammonia. The causes of urea poisoning are the most common causes of toxicosis from a nitrogenous protein supplementation includes the common fertilizer, improper mixing of the non-nitrogenous protein resulting in the concentrated pockets, and calculation of error resulting in excessive supplementation. So inadequate adaptation period that has to cause the non-protein nitrogenous compounds, the non-proteinous nitrogen compound rations low in a carbohydrate and prevents proper formation of a keto acids. So inadequate adaptation periods, so the free choice access to a non-protein nitrogenous rations, hungry animals will consume excessive amounts in an alkaline rumen urease is a more efficient. There is also more ammonia in a nitrogen form, which is readily absorbed across the rumen wall. So decrease water intake, elevated body temperature, increases urease activity, liver disease, whereas the stress animals recently shipped or castrated or vaccinated may have to lead the urea poisoning. The urea poisoning may be poachers use the urea to kill wild animals. So intake increases the blood urea or ammonia level. So the toxic dose may be 100 grams in cattle, 10 to 25 grams in goats, and the blood ammonia nitrogen level reaches 0.84 milligram to 1.5 1.3 milligram percentage. So the rumen contains mostly 780 mg per 100 ml that may have to lead towards the urea poisoning. So the ammonia gas or a strong zone of ammonia acts as a caustic alkali, and the severe colic may have to develop in the horses. Staggering gait may have to be seen, shivering. Forced rapid breathing may have to be seen. The marked jugular pulse may have to develop, and that have to lead towards a death after violating, struggling, and bellowing in the horses. The clinical signs, the animals are often found dead as the progression of the ammonia toxicosis is very rapid. The onset of a clinical signs may vary from the matter of only 15 minutes to several hours. The death usually occurs around 24 hours following ingestion, but can range from less than 1 hour to 3 to 4 days. So clinical signs may be ear twitching, pupil dilation, rapid eye blinking, dyspnea, excessive salivation, frequent urination, defecation, ataxia, and tonic convulsion induced by stimuli. These are the symptoms which can be seen in the condition of that urea poisoning. So the clinical signs may have to develop that death of affected animals may result from multiple factors and is somewhat inconsistent findings. So hyperkalemia may occur due to a metabolic acidosis, since the primary mechanism of the ammonia toxicosis appears to be an inhibition of the citric acid cycle with the resulting of a compensatory anaerobic glycolysis. So the hyperkalemia can induce the cardiac failure, so the respiratory paralysis or anoxia from the prolonged seizure activity, as well as the central nervous system dysfunction from the direct actions of ammonia can also result in death of the animal. So urea poisoning primary findings are that the mucous membrane of the stomach and intestine hemorrhagic patches may have to develop. Ulceration or edema may be seen in the rumen, liver enlarged and pale and friable, whereas the skin blood spotted or pinpoint is seen. Heart, thymus and lungs is general passive and congested. Hyperemia may have to develop. The kidney may be a cloudy swelling and a necrotic in a foci. Whereas the diagnosis can be done by the non-specific lesions such as the pulmonary edema, hydrothorax, and a visceral congestion may be seen. Ammonia toxicosis can be diagnosed on the basis of a history of a non-protein nitrogenous supplementation. So the feed samples should be taken for a nitrogenous, non-protein nitrogenous analysis. Whole blood and a rumen fluid and a vitreous fluid and the cerebrospinal fluid should be collected in a sterile containers and submitted the frozen for ammonia analysis. Normal blood vitreous ammonia concentrations should be less than 0.5 mg per day. Clinical signs appear when blood ammonia levels reach approximately 1 mg per day. Death usually occurs at a blood ammonia concentration greater than 2 mg per day. So the treatment, acidifying the rumen by infusing 2 to 6 liters of acetic acid vinegar per animal's cattle, or 0.5 to 1 liter in a sheep and a goat. Follow the vinegar, the large volumes 20 to 30 liters for adult cattle of a cold water. Emergency rumenotomy with a ruminal removal of the contents has also been suggested as a treatment, whereas the central nervous system depressed and ergotamines or barbiturates can be given intravenous. Glucose or calcium borogluconate can be intravenously administered in such animals having a urea poison. Protected nutrients and enzymes. The protected nutrients mainly include the protected fat, protein, and it is also called as a bypass nutrients. The other protected nutrients are a protected starch, chelated minerals, and vitamins. Enzymes help to make the nutrients more available to the animal. Enzymes are protein-based molecules that increase the nutrient utilization in feed. They have two key roles. They break down larger molecules into one or more smaller molecules, or they combine smaller molecules into a larger molecules. So the enzymes are specialized proteins that perform a specific function and make a life possible. Enzymes assist or improve the chemical reactions, catalysis that results in the breakdown of organic compounds into substances animals and microbes can use as a nutrient sources. So the nutritional characteristics are human protected proteins and a fat supplement produced by heat or formaldehyde treatment of oil seeds and meals. Protected fat protein supplements are designed and fed to the lactating and non-lactating ruminants to increase the efficiency of production and enhance the product quality. Augment the number 3 or number 6 are and non-fatty acid contents of meat and milk and to improve the reproductive performance. The ruminal microbial protein and volatile fatty acids synthesis supply most of the protein and energy needs of a ruminant. Rumen function problems can reduce intake, digestion, and health of the ruminant and culminate in death. So furthermore, inefficient rumen function reduces the animal performance and health and contribute the environmental pollution. The feed additives are typically a non-nutritive compounds or additives added to diets to improve the dietary nutrient utilization, enhances the performance, minimize the risk of metabolic diseases, and curtail the adverse impacts of diets on the environment. So the qualities of feed additives, especially ideal feed additives, should have following attributes: modulate the rumen pH and reduce the lactate accumulation, reduce the risk of development of metabolic diseases like diarrhea in neonates, ruminal acidosis are a blot in older livestock, enhance the rumen development in neonatal ruminants, improve the efficiency of ruminal energy utilization by reducing the ruminal methogenesis and decreases the acetate to propionate ratio without reducing a milk fat synthesis, improve the efficiency of ruminal nitrogen utilization by reducing a proteolysis, peptidolysis, amino acid deamination, thus minimizing the production and loss of methane to the environment and inhibiting the activity of ruminal protozoa that phagocytoses the desirable bacteria, contributes the proteolysis and diminution and serves as a host for a methanogen. So enhancing the synthesis of a microbial protein by facilitating the coupling or a synchrony of a ruminal energy and protein supply or by other means. So increase the ruminal organic matters and the fiber digestibility, increase the level and efficiency of animal performance. The role of enzymes in the body. Enzymes are essential for the natural function of the body: energy production, detoxification, immune production. They transform the food for digestion. Without them, the body cannot correctly deliver the nutrients to our cells. So enzymes are essential for the full absorption, usage of a food by the body. Our capacity to produce the enzymes diminishes as we age, and many researchers believe that we could live longer if we protected our body from losing previous enzymes. There are 3 categories of the enzymes. One is the metabolic enzymes. Metabolic enzymes are produced by the body and are intracellular, meaning inside our cells. They are responsible for the repair and building and functioning of each cell in all the tissues of our body. Food enzymes. The enzymes present in food are essential to and facilitate the digestion, and they also preserve our enzymatic potential. Digestive enzymes. The digestive enzymes are extracellular, meaning they are found outside of our cells. Like their name implies, they help break down food into nutrients, which are then absorbed, transported, used for each of our cells, and digestive organs such as the pancreas and the liver produce a part of the digestive enzymes of the body. The rest is taken from the food. However, the digestive enzymes are lacking in our modern diet. The enzymes that we every day with our food contributes. The enzymes that we intake every day with our food contributes not only to good digestion but also to good absorption and assimilation of a nutrient. So ensure the adequate digestion and assimilation are essential for the production of energy, guard against the imbalance of intestinal flora, helps and counteract food allergies, prevent the premature aging, promote the detoxicity, avoid the constipation, and strengthen the immune system. So without enzymes, it would be take years to digest a meal. So digestion takes approximately 4 hours, continues the small intestine 3 to 6 hours, and then in a large animal's intestine, so 12 to 24 hours. The consequences of a lack of enzymes can lead to a digestive problems and fat deposit and obesity. Lack of enzymes not only causes a digestive problems, but many chronic diseases like allergies, diabetes, inflammation, and premature aging. So the most powerful enzymes destroyers are cooking, freezing, microwave, food additives, fast food, frying, industrial canned food, pesticide, coffee, and alcohol can destroy the enzymes. So thank you very much. This is the dismissal of this our lecture is ending over here. So you can I'm going to take your attendance and then I will definitely